All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines! And gentlemen, start your engines!
And welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. I am joined with Joe and Zach, and we are here to talk to you about Las Vegas and Phoenix coming up. We got a bunch of news to talk about, and we even maybe will play a game today if Drake shows up, which hopefully he will. So let's hop into it, boys. Vegas. We had some pretty good racing, but would you say it was exciting? Let's start with Joe this week.
Full clarity, I really only watched the Cup race. It was fine racing. It wasn't anything. It wasn't Atlanta, of course, but it wasn't, the old 1.5 races that we had. But, Larson had the rocket ship and he took off and set sail. So, but I watched it. It was fine.
Zach?
What do you define as exciting, I guess, is the question. The Cup race I thought was pretty good, apart from Larson just running away with it. But the mid-pack seemed like it had some good racing. I enjoyed it, except for my personal fandom. I was very frustrated because Bell blew a tire on lap 10. So another week of him having just terrible luck. But then Kyle Busch, what happened? He had a bad pit stop late. He was doing good, and then he had a bad pit stop late, and then he got a pit penalty after that. So his day was ruined. But I don't know, man. It was good. It was a good mile and a half race. I was excited for it because I was kind of burnt out from super speedways. So
yes, I
was ready for some just heads up racing. It's unfortunate because Kyle Larson then just ran away with it. But I mean, if I was a Kyle Larson fan, I'm sure I'd be loving it. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Kyle Busch pitting outside the box. Man, I saw the picture and it's so close.
Tough. Yeah.
But I also had some, I think, bets. Oh yeah, I had Kyle Busch under 9th place. So that sucked. Honestly, betting was just a whole shit show for me. Like I had William Byron to win, got the fucking trash bag. I had Chastain top 10. He got a penalty. He made it back. Like literally everybody. I made a list of all my bets, and it was just penalty, trash bag. I had who was it? McDowell was like the only one where it's like, no, he's just fucking slow. So it was a rough day for betting, but no, I thought it was a good race. Like Zach said, not Atlanta or Daytona exciting, but the racing was good. Yeah, Kyle Larson kind of ran away with it, but you had those instances where, Tyler Reddick chased him down like literally every time it was the end of the stage. Here comes Tyler Reddick. Oh, he's not close enough. That was the whole race. And for me, it was frustrating because I'm a Reddick fan. It was just like, come on, man. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. There was some things in it that I really thought were interesting, like the Bubba Wallace pushing Reddick up to catch Kyle Larson in stage 2. I was like, that's different. I don't know if we've ever seen bump drafting like that at a intermediate track.
I don't think so.
It worked. It worked pretty well.
Can you imagine Facebook if Bubba Wallace pushed Tyler Reddick to a win?
Wasn't Clint? Clint was like the last time when Reddick caught Bubba. I think Clint was trying to say, "Oh, Bubba's gonna push him here, or he's gonna block."
Yeah, at the end,
he's gonna block Kyle. I'm like, okay, I don't think so. As a Chase fan, I really probably can't talk about that. But all right, question: if Reddick didn't throw that last pit stop, does he win?
Reddick didn't throw the pit stop.
Or his pit crew, yeah. His pick.
That was all day. All day.
Greg really should work on his tire changing skills. Come on, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler, come on. Jack the car better.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't even see what
all
happened.
day
What did
long.
happen? I just heard about it.
Just
Bad pit
slow.
stop.
They're
Just
just
slow.
slow. Every pit stop all day at Vegas was pretty bad, and yeah, it cost him a race. And he was frustrated afterwards. Even said it during the interview. And come on, Denny, let's change things up here because
Then
we're
he
on
did
year
talk
3,
about
and
it.
it's the same thing.
He talked about. Well, I mean, you got to figure really they're not on year 3 with pit crews because for a while
They did
they were
JGR.
leasing with JGR. That didn't work. So now he's trying to get his own pit crews. Well, I didn't listen to his whole podcast, but I caught like a little snippet like on Twitter or whatever. It was just talking about how it's difficult to find people because all like the really good guys are already locked up,
Yeah.
contracts and all that. So right now, it's sort of you're trying to find guys who are young and don't have experience and sort of develop them. So I mean, unfortunately you're going to have these growing pains. And as a Kyle Busch fan, I can kind of sympathize with you because I mean the RCR pit crews are sort of in a similar situation. I guess they have a hard time getting people because of where they're located. It's a bit of a drive relative to like the other shops and stuff like that in Charlotte. So, our pit stops aren't always the best. Case in point, Sunday. So, it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, getting these, and I thought going to the single lug that it was going to take a lot of the skill out of the pit stop. I think the complete opposite has happened, where now any little mistake is just completely magnified.
Well, and we saw that with Chris Buescher, first
Oh,
pit
yeah.
stop, which, hey, I had Chris Buescher as a bet too, by the way. So, we were a couple laps. How many laps after the pit stop were we in?
We were a while. I can't believe it. I don't
Yeah, I
understand
know
how
that.
it held on that long.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
but I mean, the camera caught it. You see the lug nut come off, and then
Bink.
here comes the wheel, and followed by a red flag because he punctured a hole through the wall.
Yeah.
But man, you mess up on one of those lug nuts, and it costs you. And Kyle Busch, I think it was Kyle Busch, wasn't it, that they tightened it, started to run around the car, and they're like, fuck no, I didn't get
that's
it.
what
And
happened.
They
ran
caught
back
it,
in.
yeah.
So I mean, they caught it. That's a good thing.
That's a
you
good
didn't have
thing.
another loose wheel, but I mean, those guys need to make sure. And I don't know. So here's my thing. A lot of times when they're taking fuel, they're waiting on fuel. So do you slow up? Like,
I mean, I
hate
don't
to
think
say
they
it.
are though. Not in green flag because I mean, with our stages, they're not filling the whole car up.
Yeah, it's true.
I think green flag conditions with the stages and everything, they're waiting on tires. I don't think they're waiting on fuel.
That's true. Because I'm thinking back to Daytona when they did the crank it up on pit road and they had it on Kyle Larson's crew.
Yeah.
And that was a full tank of gas. So they were walking around the car basically. They weren't rushing. So
yeah,
that makes
if they're
sense.
waiting
If they're
on
not
fuel,
filling up.
they could probably take a little less time. But the stages, I don't think we hardly ever have to do a full fuel stop. I think maybe in theory you would have to, but we usually have like a caution or something like that happen that shortens the final stage, and you just don't need a full fuel load. I don't think even under normal conditions. I'm not entirely sure if you do need a full stop, or there might be a situation where they're not going to split in half as fast as they're running in thirds. So then you're not filling it up all the way anyway either. So yeah, I don't think we're very often filling these things all the way to the top.
Yeah, it makes sense. We mentioned William Byron. He struggled. Well, he didn't struggle. He was the fastest car early. Catches a trash bag on the front of his car, and down a couple laps he goes. He ended up rallying back, finished 10th place. Pretty good finish, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
He had all race to do it. Chastain, he got that late pit penalty and somehow managed to still, what did he get, 5th?
Yeah, he was way up there.
4th freaking place. Like, good for him.
2 tires stopped.
Awesome.
They took 2 tires that last stop.
Yeah, it worked, But the ones that, didn't really run that well, the Fords, they struggled all day, it seemed like. I know most of the time there was only one Ford in the top 10, and it was usually Ryan Blaney. And then I think it was Logano was hanging around 13th most of the day. That's not how they finished, though. The Ford in the top 10, Noah Gragson.
Big surprise.
Joey ended up 9th, but still, Noah Gragson, P6.
Like, I mean, even in qualifying, they weren't good. I think there was only 2 Fords in.
They won the pole.
Yeah,
they won the pole, but I don't think there's. Or no, I'm sorry, that was Chevy's. So they were strong. It was only 2 Chevys. It was freaking Larson and Byron that were in the top 10. I got that mixed up. But yeah, it's kind of funny that all this talk about these new bodies for Ford and Toyota, and guess who's still undefeated?
Chevy.
Yep.
Chevy.
Yeah.
Well, so their streak did of winning every race this year did end this weekend. We'll get to that in a little bit, but
It did.
yeah, so Ford's still struggling, which
Especially
I
Stuart
kind of
Haas.
expected. Yeah, I kind of expected at the beginning of the year. They're still trying to figure out the car, but Toyota, on the other hand, they're firing all cylinders here because I mean, you got Reddick up there, Hamlin's up there, Truex was up there, Bell was not. So sorry, Zach.
I mean, he was until he wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
But he did have a decent comeback. They must have done some awful adjustments or something like that, because he spun it after getting the flat tire, and he got back up to the top 10, and then it was at the end of that stage or whatever, he had self spin. But even before that, he just fell like a rock. So I don't know if they tried making adjustments and went the wrong way or what. But after that first stage, he was just gone.
So I misspoke. Gregson was not the top Ford. Blaney was the top Ford and third, but he was still second, which I don't know.
It's still
I didn't expect that out of SHR, let alone Gregson. I could see one of the Briscoe was up there for a little bit. He had a bad pit stop. I mean, they had some speed, which was a little surprising. I wasn't expecting it. Maybe some future DFS plays. Yeah. So, yeah, I was surprised Briscoe was up there. He was really racing top 3 for a little while, and I don't know exactly what happened on the pit stop, but he went out of the top 20, and that was all she wrote for that team.
Yeah.
Honestly, Spire ran really well all day.
Did.
Corey LaJoy was running top 10. Hocevar was running, up there. Zane Smith had a flat tire. Or no, he actually bounced off the wall. That's what it was. He got loose out of 2, bounced off the wall. That pretty much ended their day. But Spire's showing speed on a track that you don't really expect Spire to show speed. Atlanta, I expected, all the super speedways, but not Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely had some speed. So that Hendrick partnership is starting to take effect, I think.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if they brought a little bit of money like the drivers did, and they've upgraded the equipment, or Spire's just getting there.
Investing. They're getting in on it. I think they're making deals. There's deals we probably aren't hearing about, and I don't know. I think if you have a Hendrick connection, then maybe you're getting some more A-tier motors, that kind of thing. Getting some engineering help, that kind of stuff. So
they're definitely making some money in the truck series. So
yeah,
they sure are.
Well, they're making a couple cents. Let's be honest, the truck series ain't paying a whole lot.
Yeah,
they're giving them you want a truck race? Here's a Happy Meal. Enjoy.
Yep.
Yeah. But good day for Spire, except for LaJoy did end up spinning by himself, which that sucked. It was good to see him running up there on a non-plate track. But as far as the rest of the race goes, I mean, there was some decent racing, some passing, but it was just a dominant race for Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I mean, I qualifying ended, I knew what was going to happen. It was going to be Byron and Larson show, and it was looking that way up until Byron found a random fucking trash bag.
A whole ass trash bag.
But I mean, Larson was just lights out. It's so frustrating because Cliff Daniels drives me nuts because he's just a robot. And but when them guys hit it, man, it's good luck. I don't know how they're so fast. I was like, God, this car's got to be illegal. That's how fast they were. It's this thing has to be illegal. But they weren't.
I can't think of it
quick.
I can't think of the Twitter account that posts if the last 50 laps go green, where the cars would be on track. Man, Tyler Reddick though would have won by half straightaway, which I don't know. That hurts.
I don't know how accurate that stuff is. It's sort of weird. I don't know. I feel like, especially in that last run, I feel like Larson was sort of just playing defensive. I would have thought that if that run goes a little longer, maybe Reddick burns his stuff up and starts to fade. That's just a feeling I get, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how accurate that 50 median lap nonsense is.
It's Auto Racing Analytics is the X user.
Yep. So, I mean, the other thing is Kyle Larson did save his equipment, right? He slowed down for a little bit, just kind
Yeah,
of cruised,
that's
save
what
his
I mean.
tires in case if Reddick hot up there. But
He's just playing defense. I think he was ready to go, and Reddick was giving it everything he had. You know, if that race goes longer, I think he's just going to burn stuff up and fade.
I don't know. I think Reddick had it. I honestly do. Like the last 5 laps when Reddick really got up there, I thought, at first I was kind of like what you're saying. I thought that Reddick was just going to burn it up. Kyle Larson's then going to be, okay, I'm going to go. But once it got within like half a tenth, Reddick got closer and closer and closer. And that's when I expected Larson to pull away. But
yeah, I don't know. If Larson aero blocks him, though, what's he going to do? You're just stuck. Like, that's the one thing I wish we could fix about this car on mile and a half yet is figure out how to get the aero block not so impactful. Because, I mean, it's like you saw it, especially in the last lap, not the last lap, second to last lap, in 3 and 4. Like, he just washes out so bad and loses, like, easily half a second or something like that on him.
Yeah,
I don't get
bubble.
why on the last lap Reddick decided to just run a completely different line than he had been the whole race. Like, hey, I'm fast here. Let's just run this bottom line. And I mean, it was awful for him.
I think he's just trying to play Larson. Like, they were in that game where Larson's guessing what Reddick's doing, Reddick's guessing what Larson's doing. He's just trying to guess and go a different way. And he just chose wrong, I suppose.
Yeah. So
because there was a couple laps before that, because Reddick was running that top line, and a few laps before that, Larson took the top line from him. So I don't know. I guess you just got to go where they aren't and hope you pick right. And apparently he didn't, as it turns out.
Yep.
The trash
So
bag
Kyle
also
Larson-
had a Coors Light in it, according to JT in our chat.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
That's funny. Some old Sterling Marlin fans out there throwing trash bags at William Byron.
It was freaking windy that weekend too. It wasn't rainy, but the weather still made her presence known. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think they said gusts up to 70 miles an hour, which is crazy. But
yeah,
with that win, Kyle Larson now is tied with Chase Elliott with 18 wins. That's cool.
Oh boy,
Chase Elliott, the number 3 driver at HMS now.
Yeah, I guess
it's getting hard to defute, Joe.
Yeah,
People throwing beers at the 24 car. What else is new?
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Talladega call back there.
Oh man, it happened more than just Talladega.
I'm sure that's the one that comes to
the
mind.
Talladega one. Yeah, I mean that was just a parade of beers.
People hated Jeff Gordon back then.
Oh, I was a huge Gordon fan, so it was hilarious to me. But overall, it was a good race. We got nothing to add to the kill count this week.
No, pretty clean
spins,
race.
A tire falling off.
Yeah, nobody hit anybody.
Yep. So that's kind of nuts. Phoenix.
That's not fun. Hit each other more.
Wreck more. We want wrecks.
That's right.
It was a good race without wrecks.
I want.
So
yeah, it was.
We said last week, there was wrecks. We thought it was entertainment because of that. It adds to the race, right? This race was just a normal race. So if you came from Netflix and this is what you saw, welcome again. It's racing.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. That's all I got for the Cup race. Anybody else got anything to add?
No,
it's pretty good. It's mile and a half stuff. Unfortunately or fortunately, that's our best package right now. So it's good. Yeah. Well, apart from Atlanta is the king of the speedways, but super speedways.
Yeah.
But.
All right, let's hit the Xfinity race. John Hunter Nemechek wins.
That race
dominant
sucked.
passion also. It did. And that race was awful.
What is going on with the Xfinity series? The best racing package we have had in years has now consistently put on the worst race.
3 races.
3 weeks in a row so
the
far.
Worst. Yeah.
Like the only reason why the
you
trucks
might be able to argue
worse is Daytona for trucks.
Yeah.
That's the only one that would be worse. And the reason why it's worse is because they wrecked all over each other. I don't know if the race itself would have actually been worse.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Atlanta has been the worst race all season for the Xfinity race overall series,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, it was in my mind the worst race this weekend also. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just the level of skill, if we're playing team orders or what is going on. It's just not good.
Nah, team orders for 13th is Formula One stuff. You don't gotta worry about that.
I just feel like who's left in the Xfinity series that was really like a breakout star. I feel like for a few years we had, going all the way back to when Reddick and Bell and Custer were in it. I mean, Custer's still there, but I don't know. He was definitely better when it was, because I remember that year when it was like the three of them going back and forth all the time. That was really good. And then we had like your Josh Berry and Noah Gregson and Ty Gibbs. All them guys really good and really fun to watch. Who do we have now?
Cole
In
Custer.
the Xfinity series?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer. John Hunter was there this week. Eric
Creed.
Almirola was in the race. Creed, Hill,
Yeah.
Jesse Love.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of guys there. I don't know. You're right. They are there. There's still names there. And
Brandon
Jesse
Jones
Love,
is still
we think is
there.
really
Mayer.
good.
But you don't have like the big, like you had at one time you had Bell and Reddick and who else? Like you had like a big three kind of thing.
I mean, that's the argument I was just trying to make, but I feel like it's kind of weak because you still have Creed and Austin Hill and Cole Custer and guys that are good and capable of winning races, and Justin Allgaier, of course, the veteran of the series now. You still got guys that are like, I was trying to trick myself into thinking, oh, it's just a bunch of young kids that nobody knows, but that's not the case. There's definitely still names in there. So I don't know.
There's a lot of young talent coming up too. Like,
oh yeah,
it's got to change. I think it'll hopefully change this week. We'll see.
Well, it's Phoenix, so maybe.
Maybe it would have been better if John Hunter Nemechek wasn't there, because I feel like the race, it was sort of like almost like the Cup's race in a way, but for some reason worse. I think what was frustrating for me is I saw guys like following and they wouldn't change lines. Like I saw that a lot. Like why? Like I think, who was it? Was
Chandler
it Hill
Smith
or somebody? Was it Chandler Smith? It's
finished
just like
second.
they're not changing lines. They're not moving around. It's just like they're staying right behind one another. Like why? You have the car that used to be the one that could go anywhere. In the Xfinity car. Why are you not utilizing more of the track? So I saw a lot of that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, and I think if John Hunter wasn't there, Chandler Smith's going to run away with it, because every time it was green, it was those two. You had John Hunter get about a 2-second lead, and then behind Chandler Smith, it was like 5 seconds, and they just slowly pulled away from the field, and it was like, I don't know. Yeah, Chandler Smith's a great driver. John Hunter's a good driver.
There's a bunch of good ones.
There's a lot of good talent in the Xfinity series, but what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was trying to make excuses, but there isn't one, because there's still plenty of good drivers.
Daytona, you can make an excuse for. Atlanta, you can make an excuse for. Vegas, I expected a hell of a race, and I was
at least a good one.
On my mind. Yeah, and
I mean, I would argue that the truck race
has got to be.
I would argue the truck race was the best race of the weekend overall.
I agree, 100%.
There was no runaway. You had good battles for lead. I mean, it was Raja.
Let's just go into the truck race.
Yeah, let's just roll into it. I mean, it was great. I watched it. I know I say I don't watch truck races, but just to kind of throw some attention to everybody who complains about Cup guys going down to those lower series, I watched because Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell were in it. But it was a good race. It ended up being a good race. You had Raja, you had Ty Majeski, you had Kyle. Christopher Bell was making a run up to the front, and then something happened. I forget what, but I think he had like a pit penalty or something. But it was like a good 4 or 5 truck battle, especially for the lead. I think the lead changed several times, and they're all racing
14
hard.
different leaders.
Is that it?
14. Wow. I think that was the record. Like they tied the record.
Oh wow!
So,
it was good. And of course, Raja Cruz getting the win. So congratulations to him. That was awesome
from the pole too.
And again, going back to Cup guys being in the series, like I'm bragging the shit out of I beat Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell.
Oh yeah,
100%. That is a huge. Like he didn't just win a truck race; he won a truck race with one of the greatest to ever sit behind the wheel, and Christopher Bell, who's very good himself. Like that is
with equal equipment too. It wasn't like Kyle was running some back marker to get them money. He was in an equal car.
Yep. So I mean, hell yeah! If I'm Raja, that's a huge feather in my cap.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I'm so happy for Raja because I'm not sure about all of us, but I think Zach has. I definitely have. Austin, who's not here right now, has. We've all run with him in iRacing.
At some point.
Yeah.
I'm trash at iRacing, so I haven't.
No.
Yeah. You just watch his stream on Twitch every once in a while, probably.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a great dude and
Mhm.
always nice. You go out there with all these other guys that are in top split and they will just
Oh
run
my
over
god.
you, and it's your fault that
Yep.
you were in
Every
the
time.
high lane and they wanted the high lane and they just run you over. Whereas Raja was always the one that would lift and like give you the room and stuff like that. And there was one time, I don't remember what track it was, going down the back stretch right at the start of the race. Some dude just hits me in my left rear, I spin out, and Raja asked, hey man, are you good? It was just like, that's different, But no, I mean, Raja's an awesome kid. I am so happy that, he's made this jump from, I mean, he's literally the sim racer to racing.
Mhm.
This is, he
Yeah.
grew up in DC. He didn't hop into a truck or hop into
Big
anything.
racing region, Washington D.C.
Yeah, yeah. So he's good for him. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
even really know what to say.
Yeah, it's awesome. Congratulations.
Yep. If you go back through my bets over like the last 2 years that he's been racing, I usually have some money on him. I was upset this week. I literally went to bet Raja to win plus 4,000. And as I hit submit, they closed the lines because qualifying started.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I got him at plus 1,600. So still a good day, but
Yeah.
I wanted that big win. Like,
Wait, they
Yeah.
closed race lines at quali?
Yep. So
For
they'll
trucks?
close at all
Oh,
series. So it'll
really?
be up as soon as something happens. So if like there's some big news during the week, they'll lock them until they can
Right.
get sorted out. But then
Huh.
if practice is going on or qualifying, they'll lock it just to kind of gauge the market, see like, oh, this guy's fast, we better lower it or raise it
Mhm.
or so
Good to
getting in on early lines is sometimes good.
Good to
But
know for Monday.
is it Monday that you guys are live?
Yep. Next Monday we are officially. I can wager money on sports and Drake
There you
as
go.
well. So one more NASCAR weekend without betting here, and then we're
Wow.
Freesburg.
Welcome to the new world, Joe. We got
I
cell
know.
phones and stuff. It's cool.
I know it's nice finally getting to be with the cool kids.
Yeah. But the racing was great.
It was really good.
There were 3 wide, 4 wide, 14 different leaders, like we said. It was the best race of the weekend, I think.
Mhm.
And Zach, I think, mentioned he thought so too. You got the new winner. Man, it was just a great night, except for the Fox broadcast.
Yeah, well, they suck. They're
Oh,
Oh
man.
boy.
idiots, dude. I forget what they were even saying. Like, it's just they don't know anything about racing. Like, it's like, how do you,
Yeah.
like, except for maybe Michael Waltrip, but like, what was it? They were talking about the one thing that jumped out to me. They were talking about somebody was saying. I think Jamie Little was like talking about how all these young kids love racing Kyle Busch. They always say how good he is at arrow blocking, and she was kind of like handing it off to Phil Parsons to kind of elaborate on that and like, what does that mean? He's like, well, I think that usually takes place at, pertains to your super speedways and stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about? You're talking about arrow
Yeah.
blocking, like taking somebody's line away and stuff like that. Like Kyle Larson did to Reddick. Like, that's what they're talking about. What are you?
Yeah.
You're high. And it's just,
Yep.
I don't know. There's some other stuff. I forget what they were saying.
Yeah. And
But it's just like they don't know what they're talking about.
like, so most of the race, it was kind of just little stuff like that where like the handoffs are just absolutely horrible. But something happened with the final pit stops. I don't know if Jamie Little's little monitor or what.
Are they at the
broke.
track?
I don't for trucks. I don't think so.
I don't
They
know.
were.
They acted like they weren't.
They might be at the track now. You figure if they're going to be at the track at all, it would be when Fox has the Cup coverage.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Vail
make a
Fox,
good point.
They're already going and all that stuff. So I guess if I'm Fox, the time I'm going to do remote broadcasting is when.
Yeah, they
no
were there
longer.
for the ARCA race, so I'm guessing you're right. They
Yeah.
probably were. But man, I don't know. It was bad. Like Kyle Busch got a penalty, and a bunch of other people did too. And Michael Waltrip's like, and Jamie Little will tell us about Kyle Busch's penalty, and was not ready, did not know anything about it. And she's like, he got a pit stop penalty. And then like, yeah, what was it for? And it was just like this awkward, like back and forth where nobody knew what the fuck was going on. And then they just kept like, and Jamie will tell us about this. And then like, she like kept repeating herself and just like, oh man, this is bad. Like, I kind of felt like Michael and, they were doing it on purpose in my mind, because they could tell she was fighting for her life, trying to,
oh yeah,
get any information out, but they didn't help her at all. And it was just like, it was so awkward. It was like the last 30, 35 laps. And it was just like, dear God, let it end. The rest of the race, it wasn't horrible, but if you want to watch some bad broadcasting, go watch the last 30 laps of this truck race. But
brutal.
Yeah.
I do have a Fox flub while we're speaking of Fox. So from the cup race, I know.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I said cup race.
That's what I thought was going on.
No, I said cup. I caught myself. I think Zach, you also noticed this too, but when they came back from a commercial, I forget when, and they just kept playing whatever song it was for 30 seconds while doing the normal like race cuts. They put like Kyle Larson has led like all these laps, and they just kept playing the song, and we were like, what are they going to talk? Are they going to cut the music? What's going on here? Like, is this a bit? Did they forget? Lost. I'm like, what the heck, guys? We can't turn off the music for that was crazy. Other than that, I mean, it's a normal thought things, but
I just like my nitpicky thing is just like they do this all the time. It drives me nuts. Like they're coming to green, the field's getting ready to cross the line, and they point the camera in the stands for some reason. Like why?
Gotta get those kid shots.
It wasn't even kids. It was just like some drunk Chase Elliott fan or something. Like
yeah,
who cares?
Yeah,
they are literally going racing.
Like when we're just cruising around under yellow, then show them.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm not paying attention anyway.
Yeah. So another thing that another broadcaster that we're about to talk about mentioned was they zoom in on the cars way too much, which we've mentioned multiple times. But Dale Jr. has left NBC. But Amazon
big news.
NBC let Dale Jr. go. Let's make sure we phrase that correctly. From the wording I've seen, it's they let him go. They could not redo his contract for whatever reason.
I don't know. From what I saw, it was they didn't have the money to pay him. Basically,
well, yeah, they didn't want to
pay
him.
What he wanted. Yeah,
I wonder what he wanted.
Hey, man, I mean, Amazon
NASCAR Jesus, whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And Amazon can do that. Amazon came over with that big old dick, just slapped it on the table, and got Dale Jr. And honestly,
I don't understand what that deal is. So what are they doing? So he's going to be on there next year. It'll be 2025.
Yep.
And what races are they going to cover?
They get like the 10 middle ones, right? I thought.
I'd have to look. I don't. They get 10 races.
So we're going back to 3 broadcasters next year.
Yep.
I think it's.
Is it Amazon?
3? Because you got the CW and CW's Xfinity though.
It's like slash.
CW's just Xfinity.
Wasn't it Amazon / like TNT? Right?
No, Warner.
Warner, yeah, that's what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just tell me what channel it's on.
But yeah, that was crazy. And apparently that one Reddit thread was like, oh, NBC was yelling at him, and then Dale was like, no, I swear that wasn't it.
I wonder if there's not some
truth to that.
Just like, I mean, I saw the Reddit post and I shared it and I ranted. I was going to rant on here, but Dale came on and said, it's not true. So I'm not going to rant about it. But what I will say is I feel like the remote broadcasting is a conversation somebody's had at some point. I mean, we see Fox doing it. So even if that Reddit thread is complete
NASCAR's
bullshit,
doing it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure other broadcasters like Fox and NBC, I'm sure that conversation's happened. So even if that thread was bullshit, I'm glad at least it got enough attention that Dale had to respond just so it can be known how much we don't want remote broadcasting.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
It's horrible.
That'll just be awful. Like, it'll be so bad. So if anything good came from that, hopefully that message would at least put out there to the point where they can hear it and they're like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that in the future.
But
And-
NASCAR just spent a bunch of money building a whole facility to do it. So I think we're fucked. I
Yeah.
honestly do.
They're going to use that. It was nice. We got a couple weeks of Dale like critiquing broadcast too, because he wasn't under contract. So that was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I mean,
So
that's
have they
good.
announced who's going to fill in at NBC now?
I don't
Yeah,
think you have to have anybody fill in because they already have
Jeff.
they already
There's-
have like a
Burton,
4-man booth, don't they? You got Burton,
Yeah.
Letarte, Best or not Bestwick,
Rick Allen.
Rick Allen.
okay.
Well, I
So
thought
just
that
be a
article
fourth?
said there was going to be 2 people filling
Junior.
in some capacity.
Oh.
I don't know. That's
We'll
all I
find
saw
out.
on that. Yep.
I don't know. I will say it sucks losing Junior, but even before Junior went to NBC, I thought the quality of their product was much greater than Fox.
Oh,
So,
100%.
So it's not like Junior came and made everything better. He just added an element of excitement to the broadcast because he's such a fan of the sport. So, sort of like what we were saying last week, the whole sitcom effect with the laugh track, how everybody laughs and it makes it seem funnier. It's the same thing with him. He's such a fan that his excitement is intoxicating and it makes you get excited. So that's the biggest thing. But I think the NBC broadcasting product itself will still be pretty good. Hopefully, maybe they'll do something smart and get Lee Diffie in the booth because I think Lee Diffie, fucking dog. I think Lee Diffie.
If it wasn't the dog, it was the cat, and I missed completely and hit the
You
dog.
hit the dog.
One of them, at least.
Doggo.
Sorry, dogs.
Doggo.
But
Animal abuse. PETA. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they necessarily need to add somebody. If they would, I would be calling Lee Diffie
oh, 100%.
if it was my show.
Yeah, I guess with Letarte, Burton, and Rick Allen, they should be fine.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
I
I'm
don't know.
surprised.
Just
I'm surprised to see it.
losing Dale Jr., but Amazon, man, you can't fight that money.
They're swinging for the fences.
That's 100% what happened, and they're going to
Jeffrey
give Dale Jr.
Bezos.
everything he wants.
Yeah.
I
So
hope so.
When you have space rocket money, you can get whatever you want.
yeah. So
They
speaking
got
of
that.
money,
Amazon's got that new Fallout show. Little sidebar coming out.
when's that start?
I think it's April. I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah,
Pretty sure it's in April.
I saw the trailer for it. It looks awesome.
Oh,
The other
looks
one
so
that
good.
came out
April 12th.
That's coming
Okay,
up.
so
About a month.
about a month away, little month.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just started watching that Halo show, that season 2. God, that's fucking awful. It's dreadful.
Is it awful if you're into Halo, but if it was like a just separate show not called Halo, would it be good?
Yeah, so why don't you make a show not called Halo? Like, that's what I don't
Yeah.
get. If you don't want to make a Halo show, then don't make a Halo show.
Yep.
Like, it's just the weirdest thing. It's like, I don't know. If you don't want to respect the lore or stay anything true to the story, why are you making a show about Halo? Why don't you call it something else and it's fine? But whatever, we won't go too far off topic. The show is trash because they just disrespect it.
Yeah. And that was talking sci-fi with the GWC pod.
I could have an hour-long segment on why that show sucks.
Same.
But
All right.
anyway, moving on.
Honda rumored
Honda.
to be coming to
Honda.
NASCAR 2026.
I'll
I'm
tell you
here
what,
for
if they wanted to score some massive cool points, you know what they would have done today? They would have announced that they're coming to NASCAR the same day that all social media is flying around with Dodge and their new EV Charger.
Gross.
Oh yeah.
Come out and say, hey, by the way,
Look at our V8.
Honda is going to develop a NASCAR engine and go NASCAR racing. What timeline are we on? What timeline are we on that
It's
Dodge
Crazy.
is ditched all V8s and is now making an electric Charger, and
So-
Honda is rumored to be joining NASCAR. So weird.
I didn't look into this. Is that actually from Dodge?
What?
Or that's not just some fucking render, right?
No, that's
like
their car.
Dodge literally said, "Oh my god, that thing is hideous."
Yeah.
That's
like-
awful.
And the best part is, so Dodge has been through this whole EV electric car bullshit. They're like, "Yeah, look at our muscle," and then as soon as all the other manufacturers sitting here going, "Yeah, you know what? We're not gonna go and do all this EV." Dodge is like, "Look at our EV."
I think
It's so crazy.
I think this car is the success or failure, which I'm thinking is going to be a failure. But either way it goes will be sort of a signal of what way the car industry is going to go. Everybody else is letting Dodge do this. Like
Oh, yeah.
Ford and Chevy, they're letting Dodge kill all their V8s. I mean, Chevy's kind of doing it already because they're killing the Camaro, I guess. But they're going to let Dodge test the waters and see how an electric muscle car does. I just don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't understand the EV market and what people interested in EVs are looking for, but I don't know, like to kill your whole lineup to go after Elon Musk. I don't know, man. I don't see it happening because I feel like most people who want a cool electric car want a Tesla. So like I don't disagree or not understand the idea of getting into the electric market, but why are you killing everything you have to do it? That's
I'm gonna
the
go buy
part
a
I don't
Tesla
understand.
S. Like
It's insane. Like my dad, like he's a big Ford guy, but he got a Tesla instead of a Mustang Mach-E or
why the hell they call that a Mustang? That pisses me off.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
just
like,
a
it's not a
Halo show.
Mustang, but he was
Right.
like looking at getting the F-150 Lightning, but those things are $1 zillion, and you tow
crap.
something, the range goes down, and they're already killing the F-150 Lightning because it just was not a good venture.
I don't think the market's there. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
I think there's a market for electric vehicles, but it's not like you're not going to get everybody jumping ship. Like this whole idea of like they've always taught about diversification, right? And everything, and your finances and all that stuff, and your businesses. You always want to diversify. So you're not putting everything in one basket. But with this, it's like they're all just like make everything electric, especially Dodge. Like why? I'm not saying there's some people that will want electric and there's not some sense for them, but it's not 100% across the board. And, the Mustang Mach-E, God, that thing pisses me off. That's the same thing with the Halo show. If you don't want to make a Mustang, then don't call it a Mustang.
I know it's not a half bad looking car, but it's not a Mustang.
It looks terrible because they tried to make it look like a Mustang.
Yeah,
they put the Mustang taillights and tried to put a Mustang grill on it. Like, no, just make it a crossover.
Just call it a Colt, right? I don't know, just call it not a Mustang. That's just and they're also really expensive too. It's crazy.
They're $70,000. That's the other thing about all these EVs. They ain't cheap. I haven't seen the price on this Charger thing, but they are not cheap. I mean, the cheapest one.
That's the main problem with all these electric vehicles is the price. Like,
they're insane.
I'm not spending $100,000 for a Ford Lightning.
No, and the battery is the expensive part. What's the lifespan of one of those? And when you got to replace them, that's another $20-$30,000.
Well, and that's the
thing. I remember I was looking up one of those F-150 Lightnings. Not to cut you off here, Joe.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But I was just like building one, and I think like to go from the standard range to the extended range battery, it was like a $15,000-$20,000 price jump, something like that.
Yeah, this is crazy. But we're off topic here. Back to Honda. I hope they hop in. That would be.
I'd love it.
Be great. Fourth manufacturer.
What car you think they'll bring?
Oh, it's gonna be the
the Accord.
I was gonna say the Accord. Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, it fits in, and then in the Xfinity series, you're gonna have a Civic, or maybe they do.
You think they do the Xfinity series and Truck series? I did check with Bozy. Can't pronounce his last name on Twitter. The guy that works for he does the.
They'll do a very small entrance, and I don't know. It'll be interesting. How do they do it?
I think it's a lot to take on at once, right? Though, like all three.
Oh, 100%.
You think you'd want to do it like kind of like Toyota did, and it just sort of start small.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll get into trucks? You're gonna run a Honda Ridgeline?
That's not a truck. Come on.
It's a truck. It's a pickup truck.
Honestly, they've gotten better
more of a truck
than
a Ford Lightning.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a VA. It's not a truck. No, I've always loved Hondas. I was a Honda Master Tech at one point way back in the day, and
love Hondas.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I love the idea of having a Accord out there, and honestly, Honda's more American than Chevy, Ford, Chrysler. It's just they're known as a Japanese company because that's where their roots are.
Right.
I can't remember the percentage, but it's way over. They're made way over. I can't talk right now. The percentage of the car that is made in America is way over these other manufacturers that are now made in Mexico and other countries. Yep. So,
I mean, that whole argument's stupid to me anyway. Like, what does it matter? Who cares what the car's made? Like, are you that smooth brain that you don't get the draw to having manufacturers from other parts of the world being in the sport? Like, that's always a good thing. I don't care if
Yeah.
they're built here or in Europe or in Japan or wherever. Having
Yeah.
more of a worldwide presence, including the people who participate in the sport, is always a good thing.
Yep. So as soon as we heard this news, I know in Discord I put, well, who are they going to take over for? Because obviously we're in the charter system, and most of the teams I had excuses for. The only one that I didn't was Stewart Haas Racing.
It's got to be them. Yeah, Jinx.
But supposedly with the contract talks, one of the things that's holding them up is they are planning to add a couple charters for Honda, which then makes me think, who is in bed with Honda already that is trying to expand into other markets?
Trackhouse.
Andretti, yeah.
Oh, Andretti.
So
I was thinking Trackhouse.
I think there's a
MotoGP.
possibility.
What is Trackhouse running MotoGP? I was thinking
Aprilia.
Oh, right,
No,
well.
Aprilia.
Never mind.
And Trackhouse is so in bed with Chevy that I don't think they're going to.
I don't see them leaving. No, they're a tier 1 partner and all that stuff.
The only thing that I think keeps SHR from going is their drivers. You have, I don't know. It's just hard. You got Briscoe, who's always been a Ford driver, but with how he's been running, do you hold on to him? I think you move on. And same with
I think you tell him you're going to come drive a Honda, or you're not going to drive anything.
Yeah.
You're going to drive a Honda, or you're going to drive an Uber. What do you want?
I think he's more, on the spot now that if he doesn't win, they'll just get rid of him. To where right now I feel like he's kind of safe just being a Ford driver. They're going to hold on to him. But, and then you got Gregson and Barry, who they just jump ship. They were Chevy drivers. When they got both signed onto this team, I was like, oh, this is Dale Jr.'s team here in a year or two. I don't know if Dale Jr. is going to go in with Honda.
No, I don't
know if Dale Jr. is going to go in at all. He didn't want to get into the Cup Series when charters were 6-7 million.
Yeah.
So how's he getting in when they're at 30-40 million? Unless he partners with a manufacturer that's like, I'll cover the cost of your charters.
Yeah. Which is 100% what they would do. I mean, they're coming in with all this money. That's 100% what they're going to do. Unless if, they add a couple charters. But I don't see that happening. Well, I do see it happening, but not in the case that we're talking about. I see like Andretti coming in with them. And like I said, that's what they run in IndyCar. So Andretti's got that Honda, partnership already.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to me. And I don't know. But yeah. Some more news. NASCAR is working on a VR experience that allow you to join as a 41st car. Holy shit, I love this. Like with all the stuff that we're seeing for the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the NASCAR stuff could be amazing. Like let me sit in a car as like a driver or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's just so cool. I don't even know what to say. Like I know Zach does iRacing VR. I do iRacing VR. Being able to just look around is so cool. But to do it during a live race, to like sit in your favorite driver's car and be sitting there and watch Ross Chastain wreck them, like you're punching walls at that point.
Whatever happened to our helmet cam?
Yeah, that was we haven't got that
visor cam thing.
That visor cam was pretty cool.
I was thinking about that when I was watching.
Was that Fox or NBC?
I think
they both did it.
They both. I think Fox did it first, but they both adapted it.
Yeah.
I thought about it when I was watching the F1 race, and they were showing the visor cam. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell ever happened to ours? We used to have one for a little bit.
So somebody put
F1.
something about F1. Yeah,
I can take that one. Yeah. Speaking of F1, this is our talking F1 segment.
It sucked. All right.
Max won by 10 years, but the F1
seconds.
Everything is going to hell in Red Bull. That's talking F1.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know how you look at F1 and say, yeah, this is a good series after watching Max take another huge win, 22 seconds. I mean, The thing is, so okay, again, I'm in the betting world. I looked at the F1 odds to win the championship. Max was minus 650.
Holy
Like,
cow.
if you bet $10, you get like $1.35 back.
That's crazy.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, if I see a NASCAR odds that's like plus 400, I'm like, oh, I'm not betting that. That's too low. Minus 650? Like, get fucked. Like, nobody should be betting anything F1. It's just, what the fuck is the point? I don't know.
It's
Like,
crazy.
every race you just go in, oh, Max is going to win. But, oh, guess what? You're not winning shit. You get like pennies on the dollar. Fuck that. But
Yeah, it's
that's
crazy. He's
the
going to win
racing
every
sucks.
race this year, and it's
Yeah.
going to be awful.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't know why I
the
still
comms is
can't
the best
figure out
part.
why everybody's so surprised about this. Like, this is how F1 works. Before this, it was Lewis Hamilton winning all the time. Before Hamilton, it was Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull. Then there was a couple years where it was up in the air, but then before that, it was Michael Schumacher. Like, this is just F1. That you have these, long dynasty like runs of like just 4, 5, 6 years of just one guy winning it all. This is how the sport works. This is why F1 sucks.
I love that one guy that we talked about in Discord is like, oh, well, this is like what it was when Jimmy won 5. I'm like, no, not really. He didn't win every race. He won maybe
Jimmy didn't win a lot.
He did win a lot.
It's
He won
well
the
documented.
championship, but
He won
It's
the
well documented.
championships,
I'm
but he
watching
didn't
old
win.
races, and
yeah,
back in those days, Jimmy's not winning like you'd think he's winning. Like, especially
He
at the
won
start of
the
the season.
playoffs or
He's
the
very
chase.
good.
And
Him and Chad Canales were very good at just getting into the chase and turning it on then. But like the whole season, I mean, Kyle Busch. What season am I on? 2008. Kyle Busch won 10 races that year. That's hardly a Jimmy Johnson dominant year. Like, it's just, I don't know.
And like I thought about this the other day after on Sunday. It was like every sport has their dynasty, right? Like in football right now, it's the Chiefs, the Patriots before that, and so on. But like it wasn't a guarantee the Chiefs were going to win this year. It wasn't a guarantee the Patriots, they were 18-0 and they still lost, right? I feel like the only other sport where it was sort of a guarantee is like when Georgia the last couple of years, but even when Alabama was killing everybody, they still lost a few games a year and they didn't win every chip. So it's like Red Bull or F1, all right, we're in a Red Bull is winning every race. Before that,
I mean, it's not even just that though. It's like the top 5. You know who's getting top 5.
Yeah,
I know who's getting. I have a pretty good idea who's getting 6th through 10th. I got a good idea who's getting 11th through 15th. Like, it's just F1 so structured, and I mean, some people like that. Whatever.
in.
And now apparently there's the guy is like fixing races, the head of the FIA or something.
Yeah,
that's
he's doing a really bad job at it.
We saw that a couple years ago with the championship race.
Latifi.
yeah,
but F1. What a sport.
It's just the way it is. So I mean, if that's your bag, then that's your bag. But don't talk to me about it being the pinnacle of motorsport, because it just isn't.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people try to explain why it's better than NASCAR, and they're like, NASCAR just turn to the left, and these guys have to have neck workouts because it takes so much. I don't give a fuck that they have to do neck workouts.
I mean, I have no doubt that the skill these F1 drivers have is unmatched. Just because, like, it's something that's wild to me is like you'll hear them talk about, they'll be running a certain lap time, and they're like, all right, we need you to turn up an extra 5%. And like the drivers can do that. Like, how you do that, I have no idea. It's an amazing talent, but the racing product just sucks.
Yeah,
like it's just terrible.
I mean, once you got out of the 90s, F1 just became garbage.
I think the cars became. I mean, this is probably sacrilegious to say, but I just think the cars became too advanced. They're just too.
Yeah. I agree.
They're just spaceships. You know what I mean? Like, I just have this working theory that racing quality diminishes as technology in the sport improves, because I think unsophisticated cars that aren't technologically advanced, drive poorly, handle poorly, don't do anything well, and that's when you get to see a driver and their skill really step up and take control of the car. Plus, cars like that, like an old stock car, the Xfinity car or something like that, they let you step out over the edge and sort of slide around. It looks more exciting and stuff like that because you're actually handling it around and throwing it around the corners and whatnot. But you get these high downforce cars, GT cars, Formula One, even the new Cup car. You can't really do that because they have so much grip. The second you break that, you try to like correct it. They don't like that. You'll get a lot of that snap. What do they call it? Snap counter steer, whatever it is. I forget.
They need to get rid of all the driver aids to me. Like, get rid of the traction control, stability control, all that bullshit. So I think that would help a little bit. Maybe. I honestly don't know. Maybe they're too far gone now.
Take downforce away. Like the enemy's always downforce. You can't convince me.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on, just want to say, wherever you're watching this, make sure to like, follow, subscribe. Anything helps for us. Fill out an OnlyFans question. We'll put the link down below on YouTube. You can go to our website, maybe. I don't know. Zach might have
send us a tweet.
It still works. It's not great. Listen, our website sucks. I'm gonna be honest. Don't go to our website right now.
If you're a web designer, design a website for us. Whatever you can do.
I gotta look up some Google Sites tutorials and figure out how to get Google Sites to work.
DM us on X. Send us a tweet.
Hit us up on Twitter. That's the best thing.
Okay, so let's move on. We already said there's no kill count this week. I'm gonna go do a boomer of the week that I laughed out loud. I literally laughed out loud.
Let's hear it.
So J-Ski post that Martinsville has got a sponsor. Long John Silver's returns entitlement partner for NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Martinsville Speedway. Kevin here. No stores in Maryland. Why bother?
I mean,
bro, first of all, Martinsville is in Virginia, not in Maryland. So the best part, though, J-Ski fires back. 5 in Maryland and 26 in Virginia, including Martinsville, where this race is. There are 540 Long John Silver restaurants in the United States as of December 21st, 2023.
J-Ski just hit him with the fast.
So I didn't realize it, but they ended up going back and responding even more. They went to this guy's page, saw the town he was living in, got directions to the nearest Long John Silver's, and posted, it's 11 miles away in this town. I was just, oh man, JC. Like, I love JC. They post a lot of great information, but they are just sick and tired of all the idiots on Facebook. And they used to just turn comments off, but now they fire back. Give them a follow. It's hilarious. Like, it's a good time every week just seeing some of the dumb stuff that's posted. But good old Kevin. Why bother? None in Maryland.
None
yeah, brother.
All right. That's relevant. Thank you. Incorrect and relevant.
Hashtag analysis.
Let's go to Survivor. Zach?
Can we skip it? I don't feel like talking about it. I'm just so bad at this. So, who won? Joe won. Joe's on a hot streak.
Felt different. Come here.
He was last year and ended up last. Oh, no, he didn't. Second.
No, he didn't. I did.
Yeah.
Like 15 points behind. So, yeah, Joe won with old Joey Logano, 9th. So, none of us really did that hot if first is Joe at 9th.
Yeah.
And then Drake was 2nd. He had Byron, who rallied back for a P10 like we were talking about. Andrew got fucked with Kyle Busch finishing 26th. And I was looking good. Cindric was actually up there. He was like the highest placed Ford there for a while. And then, I don't know. He just decided he didn't want to race anymore. Finished 29th. So
I think he got a penalty too.
Did he? I didn't pay attention.
That last caution, it was like 10 guys got penalties. It was kind of crazy, but man, 2 weeks in a row, I felt like I'm set. Like I got this one, and then something happens. Yeah, Brad hits the wall. Kyle gets a freaking penalty. It's just like, oh, kill me now.
There she goes, man.
Okay, who you got?
So I was looking over Phoenix. I was looking at Phoenix results. This guy won the last time he was there.
Yep.
Before that, I believe finished 3rd. And then a P2 in the fall of last year. And then his worst finish is like 20th something. That's when Denny Hamlin wrecked him. So I'm going Ross Chastain. He seems to be pretty consistent at Phoenix in the next gen. I kind of look back at all the next gen races, and he's top 5 except for that wreck with when Denny took him out. I forget where he was running there, but it wasn't that great that time. But
yeah, I like the pick. in my mind thinking I'll pick Ross this week, and then I knew you were gonna take him. I was like, fuck.
There is also an open call out to Ross. If he junks Chase Elliott, I will buy diecast in 2024. If he junks Chase Elliott. Joe's not happy about that one.
Rick Hendrick would fire him he'd send him to a gulag faster than you could buy that diecast. You know that.
Nah, he'd be all right. He's got to make it look like an accident.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
So who you got, Andrew?
My pick. I was, like I said, I knew you were going to pick Chastain, so I tried to get off that, and I was like, do I go Blaney? I was like, no, and then I was like, man, Ty Gibbs is just on this heater. I was like, can't do that. I like so close to picking him, but I think I'm just gonna go with a possible throwaway that could be good. I'm gonna go with Alex Bowman.
I saw on Twitter that it has officially been 2 years since his last win.
Wow, that long, huh?
Apparently, according to Twitter, Vegas of whatever 2022, which doesn't seem right. I thought he won after that.
I'm gonna.
The Martinsville was before that, right?
Alex Bowman. Let's check on that.
Didn't he win Richmond?
Man,
all right. His last win was Vegas. Yeah.
Wow. And it was a dominant race for him. That was like the first time where I was like, oh man, like
I don't think that was dominant. He stole it.
No, that was
the one he stole.
No, that
was
from
dominant.
California was the one he stomped everybody.
Okay, Auto Club.
One of the last, Auto Club. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one where the
West
backing
Coast.
into wins came from because Kyle Busch was pissed off because Kyle Busch was winning that race, and then they made the 2-tire stop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Truex was up there and all that. Yeah.
It was like all the Hendrick cars, I think, did like a 2-tire stop, or at least 2 of them did, or something. And
I think 3 of them did, and then Byron like blocked and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna break that this weekend.
Hopefully not. Drake, I did message him. He's gonna go ahead and get on the Hendrick bandwagon with you, and he's going Chase Elliott. So. And Joseph, who you got?
I will go with the other Chase, Briscoe. Did pretty well last week and before his issues, and he's historically been pretty good at Phoenix, I believe. So, we'll give it a shot. Yeah. So, go Chase. Go both Chases.
There we go.
Okay.
That'll be Survivor picks. I look forward to picking first again next week.
Austin, just submit your entry now because Chase Elliott's going to lose. So,
no, he's not. He's not.
All right. So we're heading to Phoenix. New short track package.
Yep.
Do we think it's going to work?
I am not optimistic until I see otherwise.
I think we take this with a grain of salt because Phoenix sucks regardless. There's you can count on one hand good Phoenix races.
And we have Bristol coming
championship
up in a
race
weeks,
last year.
This
last time we were at Phoenix, I thought it was a decent race. Like I hate to say
it, but I mean,
better.
Is it going to give you what you think a short track should give you? Is what I'm saying.
I don't think so.
I mean, there can be good races for Phoenix, but is it a short track? Like, would you say Phoenix last year compares to the best Martinsville or Bristol races? I would say probably not.
No.
I
mean, there's good for Phoenix, then there's good short tracks. So
Phoenix is going to be the first couple laps after the restart. It's going to be batshit insane, and then it'll just string out and go from there. So I'm not expecting anything. So
I'm also half wondering too, like that championship race, like does it seem good because people are passing more, and are people passing more because guys are just at the end of the season just laying over at that point? Like if you're not in for a win, you are where you are in the championship standings. What is one position for you at that point? Like I just wonder that. I don't know if maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe they're all out there giving 110% every lap. I just feel like they're probably not. So it might sort of give you an illusion of the race being better.
Yeah.
Here we're actually going to be fighting for position because stages matter. Like we're all still fighting for points and all that stuff early in the season. So we'll see. I don't know. But whatever happens, I won't use it as like a barometer of did the short track package work or not. Because Phoenix can just suck.
I mean, if it's going to work anywhere, it's going to be Phoenix because it is a little bit higher speed. Whereas
are they doing that Bristol?
They didn't last year though.
No, they didn't do the short track package at Bristol last year. Are they doing it this year?
I don't know.
In theory,
I'd
I
have
guess we're going
look
to
at
see it. If they are, then I guess we're going to get a really good taste of this setup. I was going to say. Get a good taste of this package, but that's we'll get a really good taste
package there.
Yeah. We will get a really good sense of how this car is going to race with the lower downforce on it, because I guess we should be using it at Phoenix, Bristol, Circuit of the Americas, Richmond, Martinsville. So the next 5 weeks, we should see this low downforce setup. So we should get a good vibe for it. See how it is.
I think it'll.
Bristol's the only one I'm not sure
be the
about.
best
I
one.
don't know if they're.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like they should, right?
They should.
It's a short track. I mean, I get Dover. Dover's a high speed type deal, but Bristol short track. I get it's a little higher speed, but it's still not fast. So run it.
Yeah.
So before we end the show, iRacing adds rain.
They
That's
do.
exciting.
Did you see that video I posted on Twitter? Like, I don't want to.
That was, dude. No, I saw it.
I wish you put as much effort into the podcast you do making videos for iRacing.
Because I don't get to choose what my ADD goes to. But really, I didn't do anything for that video. I didn't do anything. All they did was record like 6-second clips of the camera in different spots. That's it. So it's not like I did anything. It's amazing.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Can't wait to run it.
They should have reposted that with our Twitter, so everybody watching this can see it.
Done.
I did a couple laps in the rain, and I am awful.
It's tough.
I'm having problems with some bugs right now. I can't once I leave the track, I can't rejoin. But and in VR, that's a pain in the ass. But I was all over the place. I'm not good, and I'm looking forward to the endurance races though, because Daytona 24 sitting there at night and all of a sudden rain.
I don't know what Sebring is, but we haven't practiced at all.
It's in a couple weeks.
Oh god.
I think it's in 2 weeks. I'm out. It's my birthday weekend, but I'm in for other stuff possibly.
I only want to do IMSA stuff. I don't want to do any GT. I don't know if they're doing Le Mans. We haven't done Le Mans because freaking MSG has the exclusive license to it. So iRacing has to do it.
Yeah, fuck. Okay. Yeah, they probably won't. They can do the petite though, right?
Yeah, they can do that. I forget. There's one at Indy. You got Watkins Glen, Petite, and Sebring. I think that might be the endurance races for IMSA that we get this year, in addition to Daytona.
But yeah, good update from iRacing. You got the SRX car. You got a new midget, right, Zach? I think it's a midget.
Micro sprint. You got a wingless and wing micro sprint.
Nice.
Okay. Did we get this? What the hell is the open wheel car? Super light.
Oh yeah, the Super Formula Light. Like I guess they have that new B open wheel car, the Super Formula, which is like a Japanese based. It's Toyota and Honda. Sort of like Japan Indy car, if you will. But they're faster. I'm pretty sure they're the fastest open wheel car after F1. And they gave us their, I guess, what would you call it? The preliminary series. What's the word? What Xfinity is to the Cup series. They gave us that. I forget what the heck you call it.
Yeah.
The Super Formula Lights is what they call them.
And they also split the regular road into two different licenses. You got open wheel and just like your IMSA stuff, which I think I'm going to do some open wheel stuff this season. Like, I'm kind of excited. I always liked it, but I usually killed my SR and
I'm gonna be all about the B car. I ran the B car at Vegas. I ran in Vegas this week. It is so much fun. I had no idea what I was doing, but it was so much fun.
They got trucks at Auto Club right now, and I was like, "Oh,
I may partake in that."
Oof. Yeah, I don't know if they'll switch it since week 13, but
that was one thing I was kind of sad about. I was thinking about it, like, man, we're not going to go to Auto Club with anything anymore because it's not on the schedule. We'll have to wait till like off weeks and stuff. Hopefully that's like their go-to for like the off week track.
They still run Indy cars there every now and then, right? At Auto Club? I mean, in iRacing, I know not.
Yeah,
in real
but I
life.
mean, IndyCar has a lot
Yeah.
more off weeks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So hopefully, anytime there's an off week, I would vote throw Auto Club in every time there's an off week. Is what I would say.
iRacing Super Speedway or nothing, brother.
That track sucks.
It does. I don't know
paid
why.
$15 for that.
Seriously, holy cow.
I mean, it used to be the Coca-Cola back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun idea. Like it's fun to think
Yeah.
about, but it's terrible.
Remember when everyone
Yeah.
bought that iRacing built IndyCar?
I
I
didn't
think
buy
it's
that
actually
car.
a lot of fun, dude. Say what
It
you
is.
want. That thing's a
IR01.
good time.
Well, it is a fun car. Just I haven't driven it since I got it.
Dude, it's
That's
wild.
a me problem.
Joe
But
says, I haven't driven it, but it's a
yeah,
fun car.
well, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. well,
Dude, it's super fun though. I don't know why they don't drive it. I'm guessing it being fake hurts it.
Yeah.
Points for that
Oh,
for not being a real
100%.
car.
People would rather do the F1 car instead.
But it is a blast. If you ever just want to rip around in something fun,
Yep.
it's a good time.
Well, I think that's going to be it for this show. Make sure to tune in next week for our Phoenix recap, and we'll get into Bristol. We're also going to have a
Wait a
game.
minute.
Drake just
We
got
have a guest. We
Let
have a
him in.
special guest.
Let him in.
Oh
Don't
my
shut down
God.
yet.
Vegas race sucked ass.
Wow.
And there he
There he
is.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hi.
Right on time. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
All right, so
Oh,
guys,
awesome.
what do you think
Hey,
of the
guys.
Vegas race?
Wow, great warm up, guys. And now we can get the podcast
Great warm
started.
up. Now
Yeah,
we're into the
good
real
practice
podcast
podcast.
here. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey guys.
No, we're still going to end it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I just came
What's
here
the
for
game?
my
Why don't we
I
do
love
the
you,
game
that's it.
since Drake's here?
I want to save the game. We'll do it next week.
We'll save the game.
We're
Save
an
the
hour
game.
and 10 minutes into this. We're saving the
Are
game.
we?
We're going to do it next week after
I didn't think
a
we'd
boring
go that
Phoenix,
long with
most
Joe and
likely.
his 4 words he says.
Dude,
I
we
said
got
more
like
than 4
30
words.
minutes in and we were done. And I was just like, oh, fuck. And somehow we made it another 40. So
Here we are.
There was some
Hour and
rambles
11 minutes in.
and stuff.
There's
in
some
there.
rambles in.
Yeah.
We get our rambles in.
We talked about the
Sci-fi
Halo
rambles
show, the
and-
Dodge
yeah.
Charger EV. We kind of did
Yeah.
a few little side excursions.
All right. Peace out. Yeah, we'll have a game next week. Name that
game.
driver. Yeah.
All
So
right.
don't we have an
Peace
OnlyFans
out.
question? I'm pretty sure I saw an OnlyFans question.
So we had one OnlyFans question.
Do we want to do it this week or save it?
We had one submitted. I didn't put it on the list because whoever is in Discord can go fuck themselves.
Well, ew.
Because
Wow.
it's from Icyvert. What is a caution? Fuck you. Like,
That's good. All right. That's
I don't know who did, but yeah. Thanks.
I have a feeling it was paper. I'm just gonna guess it was paper.
Probably.
that feels like
Yeah.
a paper.
It feels
Yeah.
But
like
yeah. We need
David's the
questions. It doesn't have to be racing related. Just ask us anything. The link will be below on
ask me
YouTube.
anything.
That's
Amen.
man.
Green White
Put me on the
the
hot seat.
gwcpod.com. It'll be on there. Submit form. So yeah.
YouTube
On that
comments,
note-
DM us on Twitter, all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Peace.
I love you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Green White Checker Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. For more from the boys and the podcast, be sure to follow us on Twitter at the GWCpod for the podcast, at biggelstv for Zach, at shakendrake_TTV for Austin, at picksbyfitz for Andrew, and at J_Sully10 for Joe. Head over to thegwcpod.com to submit a question for our OnlyFans segment. Thanks again for listening, and we hope to catch you again next episode.